So I know certain filmmaking gear is not exactly sexy, or you would think that you would absolutely need it. But as a wedding filmmaker, my high frequency stuff, of course, this one tool has provided really good flexibility and functionality. And I think that if you're doing weddings, this is suitable for that. And what I'm talking about today is a monopod. And in particular, this one here from iFootage. This is the Cobra 3 monopod, and it provides a lot of good functionality on a wedding day. Reason being, I've used gimbals, I've used regular tripods, stuff like that. When you are working an 8 or 10-hour wedding day, the last thing you want to do is hold your camera on a gimbal or handheld. With this, it definitely has the functionality that you need in order to put your camera on it, and the payload is quite good. So let me just talk about some of the features of it, and then just some things that I really may not like about it, but that's actually got a kind of a good offset to it. So it is a basically step type of monopod where it expands from these 3 levers here. You have adjustments that you can do to each lever, giving you different height adjustment. In particular, I have the Manfrotto 502H plate on the top. This basically fluid head, drag system on the top, because iFootage did not send me the head that they have, the K7 or the K9, I believe is what they're referred to. But what I do like about this is that you can indeed put any type of fluid head on the tripod because of the adapter that the Cobra 3 comes with. So that's a really nice feature. It simply pops in, just pull that down, and then boom, just push it back up, and then you got your ball head, fluid head, whatever you want to call it, attached to the top of it. Has a nice little rubberized grip right here. Has a little clip here in case you got a wire, I would imagine, and you want to clip it and keep it to the monopod. It kind of has a carbon fiber texture to it. Not quite sure if it is carbon, but I do like the feet on the bottom, as they are adjustable as well. So you can adjust those to your liking and how flat you want the bottom of the feet to lay. Also, at the very bottom here, you have that same kind of adjustment where you can pull down and then the feet come off of here. So realistically, what you can do if you need to get a super low angle shot is take this off, have the feet here, and then pull down, and then boom. Well, I can do it better this way, and then boom. So if you wanted to get a super low shot, you can just use the feet, which is really nice for like tabletop shots or something like that, or if you needed to be low to the ground. And also what I like about it, with this little lever here, you can press down on it and it will swivel the bottom where the feet connect to. So that's nice. So essentially, the reason why I would say this is a good thing to have for wedding filmmakers is because basically if you're in between shots or you're taking a break, it's cool not to have to sit your gimbal down on the floor, something like that. What this allows you to do is obviously rest your camera on the monopod itself, and that way you don't have to worry about putting your gimbal on the floor and your camera possibly being knocked over. So that's a really good feature as well. Has this little lanyard on it, not really what I would use it for, anything, I wouldn't think. And overall, it's a pretty good system. I do like the adjustability of it. And then if you just want to increase the dampening on how this moves around, it does have a rotating plus and minus here, so you can basically adjust the fluidity of how this moves around here. So really nice, has a rubberized bottom. The feet have rubber to them as well. Doesn't have any sort of metal spikes, so if you're trying to plant this into the ground, I wouldn't say that's probably ideal. It'll work, obviously, but if you're trying to plant it into dirt or grass, don't count on it having metal spikes to do so. So just as simple as that, you just do the adjustments with the levers here, and there you go. Now, the only thing about this is I wish that it just had basically one way or one lever to push up, so that way you wouldn't have to adjust all 3. But that is with the new Cobra 3 monopod that they just released not too long ago. Didn't get that one. This is the older version. And as far as payload goes, pretty good payload. As you see in the B-roll, I have a Panasonic S5 II with a cage handle, big monitor on top. So I would say the rig probably weighs around 6.5, 7 pounds. And it seems to take that payload pretty well. Now, I wouldn't suggest, you know, basically extending this as high as it possibly can get, because I feel like if you do that, you're gonna risk, you know, it tipping over or something like that with a bunch of weight on it, because it would get top heavy. But for all intents and purposes, if you just have it at normal height, say your chest height, I think that works well for most cases and most scenarios. Again, I do like the quick release function of it, being able to take off a ball head or fluid head or whatever, and then just basically snap it back on. And it's not as hard as I'm making it look, actually. But that's one thing that you probably just seen that I don't like about it. With a lot of force, their levers are all locked into place, but with not a lot of force, but just a good amount of force, it goes down. Don't like that. So the resistance is not really there as far as that goes. Now, it does have Allen keys on the side here to tighten up these, and from what I've seen and what I've done, they're pretty much tightened all the way. So I don't think that provides any more resistance as far as the locking goes. I think I pretty much got them maxed out. So yes, it could provide a little bit more clamp in these areas, but I already have them tightened down. So as you can see, with just me pushing down on it, it will go down somewhat. So just be mindful of that. So if you have a heavier rig than, say, the one I just mentioned, 6, 7, 8 pounds or whatever, just know that with a little bit of force, you may have that creep as far as it going down. I'm not putting a whole bunch of force on it, but overall, it's a good monopod. It is very useful for a wedding day, because you can just sit your camera there. It's at this height, and essentially just take a break, free up your arms, because as you know, if you're on a wedding shoot or a wedding day, then 8 to 10, 12 hours, cameras get heavy, even though they only weigh, you know, 6, 7 pounds, depending on how you rig out your cameras. But yeah, overall, a really good tripod. Again, just going over the features, you know, you have that quick release lock on the top, quick release on the bottom. You adjust the heights and everything with the 3 levers, and then you adjust them individually. And then you also have the feet down here that you can adjust depending on how flat you want your monopod to be on the ground. So yeah, not really much else to say about it. I will say that iFootage did send me this monopod, so I do thank them for that. They are not the sponsor of today's video or anything like that. The sponsor of today's video is actually Melodie. So if you haven't heard of Melodie before, Melodie is the music that you've been hearing playing in the background. They have a huge music catalog and library with all different types of genres, with also sound effects that you can get. And if you want to go ahead and try out Melodie, and you like some of the music that you heard in this video today, then go ahead and click the link in the description, and you can get 10% off your first month subscription. So yeah, that's gonna do it for the tripod today. Cobra 3, I wanna test out the new Cobra, because what I was mentioning earlier, it basically has where this handle is, you just twist and then you lift up, and you can adjust it that way instead of having to do all the 3 levers, because that kind of gets, you know, cumbersome when you have a camera on top, right? And you're letting it rest, and then you have to reach down, you know, as far as possibly the 3rd lever, just to be able to adjust the monopod up. So that does cut down with the new Cobra 3 on bending over and then straining your back, especially when you have a rig on top and you're having to have to hold it like this while you make those adjustments down there. So that hopefully is a benefit. I don't know with the new Cobra 3, because I haven't had a chance to test it. Maybe I'll get that here so I can test it, and then maybe do a comparison between the OG Cobra 3 and the new Cobra 3. So I hope you guys liked this video. If it helped you in any way, or if you think you could use this for your wedding production days, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you already have it. That would be awesome if you did. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Overall, it's good. I just would say don't put a bunch of weight on it, and keep in mind that it will creep like that. So that's really the only fault that I've seen out of it, as you can see. And I have all the 3 levers locked. So that's really the only thing I don't like about it, is that little bit of creep with a little bit of weight on it. So other than that, it's a pretty solid, useful piece of gear, especially for wedding production days. So that's about it for today. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great week. And until next time, be safe, be kind, and take care of each other.